The recent release of secret files on the 1963 assassination of President John F. Kennedy has caused significant attention, with over 63,000 pages of documents now available on the National Archives website. This release, which includes typewritten reports and handwritten notes, is the latest in a series of declassified materials relating to the assassination, more than 60 years after Kennedy's death. The files contain shocking claims, including that a CIA agent believed the deep state was behind the assassination, Oswald was a poor shot, and that the Secret Service had been warned about Kennedy's potential murder months before the event. The release of these files caught the Trump administration's national security team off guard. They spent 24 hours before the publication scrambling to ensure there were no security threats. As the files became public, there was backlash from both liberals and MAGA supporters. Some were disappointed by the redactions in the documents, and others found them hard to read or understand. Despite the stir caused by the release, experts warned that these files would not overturn the long-standing understanding of the events surrounding Kennedy's assassination. Though the documents provide some new details, experts caution against expecting significant revelations. One of the documents mentions a passage from the 1967 left-wing political magazine Ramparts, which describes CIA informant John Garrett Underhill Jr., who allegedly claimed that a CIA faction was responsible for the assassination. Underhill was found dead in his apartment less than 6 months later. His death ruled a suicide. Another document discussed Oswald's marksmanship, revealing that he was a poor shot during his time in the USSR. Additionally, a letter from 1978 mentioned a man named Sergyj Czornonoh, who claimed to have warned the American vice consul in London about Oswald's plans to kill Kennedy. Trump had made a campaign promise to release all the remaining files related to the JFK assassination, a commitment he followed through on with this release. His team worked quickly after his return to the White House in January to prepare the materials for publication. National security experts were especially concerned about the potential exposure of sensitive information, especially regarding living individuals, which led to an emergency call from the National Security Council to assess what remained redacted. The files contain new documents, but also represent the fulfillment of a long-awaited promise from Trump to release the materials. Some critics have pointed out that despite Trump's assurances, the release does not contain all the promised documents, and some still remain redacted. Notably, some of the released files are poorly scanned, faded, or handwritten in an illegible manner, which makes it difficult for experts and researchers to extract meaningful information. Many researchers, including Larry J. Sabato from the University of Virginia, expressed frustration, stating that it will take years to fully analyze the significance of the thousands of pages released. Jefferson Morley, vice president of the Mary Farrell Foundation, praised the release as an encouraging start, but pointed out that only about a third of the redacted documents had been fully released. Some files, including new records from the FBI, were still absent. Morley suggested that while a large portion of the documents had been unredacted, many still contained classified information and had not been made public. Historian David J. Garrow noted that this release was more difficult to navigate than past declassifications, and it would take a considerable amount of time just to process the full 80,000 pages of documents. Other critics, such as John Greenwald Jr. of the Black Vault, complained about the organization of the files, calling them disjointed and difficult to parse. Despite these concerns, the release has fueled continued public interest in the details of Kennedy's assassination. Conspiracy theories have flourished for decades, with many still seeking definitive answers. Trump, who took office in 2017, had previously vowed to release all the remaining records during his first term, but ultimately held some back, citing national security concerns. His promise to release the files as part of his broader effort for government transparency remained a key part of his platform as he entered his 2024 campaign. While some documents were released during President Joe Biden's administration, there are still numerous files left unreleased. Sabato pointed out that his team was still searching for sensitive documents that had large portions redacted. This raises questions about why certain details remain hidden, particularly concerning Cuba and the CIA's involvement with Oswald. The release has also sparked partisan reactions. Some MAGA supporters, including Rep. Anna Paulina Luna, expressed excitement about the transparency, citing a specific CIA Inspector General report alleging the CIA withheld information about the assassination. However, others have expressed frustration at the continued redactions. For example, Tulsi Gabbard, the Director of National Intelligence, praised the release as a step toward transparency, but critics quickly pointed out that many documents were still not fully declassified. In addition to the JFK documents, files related to the assassinations of Robert F. Kennedy and Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. were also made public. Jonathan Egg, a Pulitzer Prize-winning author of a biography of Dr. King, stated that while he would review the materials, he didn't expect anything surprising to emerge. Most experts agree that the release of these files is unlikely to uncover new details about the killings, with no new smoking guns or alternative theories expected to come to light. While Trump touted the release as an important step in fulfilling his campaign promise, many observers remain skeptical about what these new documents will actually reveal. The files are unlikely to offer any dramatic conclusions, and the slow process of examining them will continue for years to come.